Virginia Tech, another team that has a lot to be excited about, maybe even more so than Virginia. So head coach Brent Pry is back for his third season. Last year, the team jumped from 3 wins to 7 wins. They won the Military Bowl. They beat up on Tulane in that game. Same coordinating staff, ton of production back, just like Virginia. 4th in the country in returning production, 21 returning starters. 21 returning starters for Virginia Tech. Kyron Drones is back. And you make an argument that this kid's right up there with Cam Ward, DJU, Grayson McCall, best quarterbacks in the conference. I mean, he is so good. 17 touchdowns, 3 interceptions last year. He also rushed for over 800 yards and 8 touchdowns. I mean, this kid can play. Kyron Drones. And, I mean, this is a kid that is in NFL discussions for sure. So they got a stud at quarterback. Both running backs are back. 4 of the top 5 receivers are back, including Jaquan Felton, who led the team in both receiving yards and touchdowns. All 5 offensive linemen are back for these guys as well. So just like Virginia, they return all 5 offensive linemen. So this is what we just said about Virginia. You can kind of copy and paste it, only with more talent. This team is loaded. This offense is loaded. Agreed?
Yeah, 100%. They also added an O-line transfer from another ACC school. That's adding depth to your team. I mean, having interchangeable alignments huge too. So yeah, I mean, there's not much you could say about this offense is going to be.
I'm pretty sure
elite.
that 10 of the 11 the only starter that isn't back is the tight end. I'm pretty sure. So yeah, loaded.
Yeah, that's a very loaded offense, and really all around they were a pretty good team. I think they've gotten hurt in the last few years with having a tough non-conference. I'm not sure if that happened this year, but yeah, this is a really good offense.
On the defensive side of the ball, it doesn't look quite as good, but still a lot to be excited for. A lot to be excited for here if you're a Virginia Tech fan. They did lose a few pieces on the defensive line, a couple key pieces, but 5 of their top 8 defensive linemen are back. So majority of the production they were getting on the defensive line is back again this year. All 3 linebackers are back, and pretty much all of their DBs are back. They even got a couple back from injury. So the defensive line may be a little bit a question mark on the defensive line, but as far as the linebackers in the secondary, they should be good. There's not really, as far as what they're bringing back onto the field this year from last year, there's nothing to be upset about here. They're loaded.
Yeah, this team was the basic way to look at this team is last year they were a shade worse against the run. They were pretty good against the pass. Secondary was really good. Multiple power forward transfers in a very deep defensive line, so they have a very high expectation that their run numbers, which weren't great last year, will improve this year with new guys, and a lot of the guys that were struggling maybe a year in the system again will be good. Linebacking core, like you said, they added a very high regard transfer from Middle Tennessee, so this is a very good unit as well. Like you said, the secondary was really good last year, but they lost a lot. They have a corner, Jalen Stroman, who's going to be in the NFL one day. He's very good. And Strong was their top corner last year. He's also back, but yeah, they did lose the depth at that spot, so that could be a little bit worse. I don't think they'll be able to replicate being 4th in yards per attempt last year as a pass defense, but if they're still within the top 30, then this will be a really good defense. And obviously we talked about the offense being as good as it is. I think this team mixes really well.
Yeah, if Kyron Drones is able to take a step forward, developing as a passer, this offense could be like top 10, top 15 in the country, really. I mean, rushing, this was probably a top 25 rushing offense last year, 17th in yards per carry, 11th in effective rush. Passing numbers were down a little bit despite having a talented quarterback. So if Kyron Drones is able to develop a little bit as a passer, they could be a problem. Let's go ahead and play the win-loss game, AJ's favorite game.
I like the non-conference a little bit easier this year than it was last year.
So can they go into Vandy and beat the commies? I think they can.
Yeah, they're gonna deck them. I'll bring the decking out. They're gonna win that game by 20.
What's the line on that?
I
want to know.
Lord knows what the line is.
I want to know.
13.5. I'm taking that. That Vanderbilt team. I know it's gonna be Pavia's first,
but they should win comfortably.
It's gonna be Pavia's first game there, but I think they're gonna crush them. Drones might run for 200 yards in that game.
All right, that's a win. Marshall, win. Old Dominion, win. Home Rutgers, win. At Miami,
they're 4-1. They're losing the Miami game. Cam Ward will have a really good game in that one.
Then they beat Stanford.
Yeah, weird travel, but they'll win that one. And then they get a bye. They get a couple days off after the travel.
And they'll beat Boston College at home after the bye.
Yeah.
So that's one loss so far. 6-1. Home
6-1.
Georgia Tech is tough, but I think they win.
They win that one 7-1. I already bet this. I didn't know. I told you the other day. I bet this one at over 8.5.
They can win 10.
I think that they could be
Over.
They will find themselves in a spot where they can make the ACC championship. Them, SMU, Miami, Clemson are probably my top 4. I think those teams will have the best shot. This team will have, because of their schedule, sets up perfectly where if they just win one of those last 2 games against Duke or Virginia, I think they're going to be a 9-10 win team that
Agreed.
very easily can get in the ACC championship.
Agreed. Next. What's up, Rob Beaver? Welcome back. All right. Let's talk Daboville.
Oh boy.
Now this is going to be quite an interesting discussion here. It's going to come down to